down. Stafford wants Nakua again. Makes the adjustment, and he's inbounds. Here's the fade. Looking downfield for Smith. Powers caught it. You gotta be kidding.
There we go. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We back, baby, with another episode of League Chat, where we tap into everything around the NFL. Y'all already know what it is, man. It ain't nothing but bias, real talk. We about to talk some football today. Y'all already know I got my guest, Uncle Daddy, with me. And we got my man, SB, Branch Huddle, Panther Pulse Nation. What's going on, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Hey, man.
Having a good
listen.
day on this rainy day here.
Yeah,
I
it's a
guess.
rainy day, man. Listen, we don't talk nothing but winners and losers. We got a big show for y'all today, man. Big show, big show. So if you're new to the channel, give your boy a like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that post notification bell. We drop videos every week. All right. So just so everybody already know, they already done came out. Draft is done. It done came, saw, we done conquered. It is time to give our analysis on a few topics for the day. So if you guys are ready, get back, grab your good cigar, your brew, your bud, your beer. I don't give a shit. Just we getting ready to have a good time. This one gonna be interesting, all right? So without further ado, man, I want to go ahead and start off with something right now. Y'all tell me about your overall reaction of the draft this year. You know what I'm saying? Just how you feel. How'd you feel about the draft? Just overall, just in the span of like, were you surprised, not surprised? And we'll start with there. Stefan, I'm gonna start with you.
Well, actually, since my squad had the number one pick.
Stefan, we're gonna start with you.
Hate this dude, y'all. I swear to
God.
So, man, let me tell you. I want to say first off, so this draft was very different in a lot of ways. A lot of analysts didn't predict it going the way that it went. But I just want to put out, man, can we please do away with letting fans make the picks in the second or third round? Because they take forever. Take that pick. They were taking about 3 or 4 minutes. It took the team less time to make the pick than it did for the person to say the pick was.
It actually did.
I'm sitting there like, hey, hurry, let's wrap it up, B. Wrap it.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Up. Like, let's make the pick so we can keep. We got like 3 or 4 picks in. We still waiting for this person to make the pick. Like, let's go. So, Roger Goodell, if this somehow come across, or anybody who's watching, send it across to him, man. Can we do it, or at least put a time limit? 1 minute. You got 1 minute to get up there, say your hellos, say your hey, love you, sweethearts, and all that stuff, or shout outs, and then make the pick and get off the stage, big dog. Because, man, I'm ready to get this thing going.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it was.
I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you, bro. I think it's the warm fuzzies when they have the military. Shout out to the military. Thank you for your service when they get out and do it. You know, the kids and everything. I think that's all cool, but you're 100% correct. Give them put them on the time clock really, really quick. Like you said, do the shout outs, do the things or whatever, and then get that pick in. I agree 100% with that. But I still like the warm fuzzies with it though. So yeah.
I guess I'm just listen. So just quick backstory. I haven't probably watched the actual NFL draft in 2 seasons. This second year I have not turned on the draft. And what I mean is, everybody either watch on NFL Network. I go to Bleacher Report and I watch where Michael Parsons, usually Michael Parsons does the first round with Bleacher Report. Man, I'm gonna be honest, man, I like that one because even though they kind of tell the backstories, I don't get all that extra fluff that comes with like everybody coming out. Now the second round, third round, it's a little different. I still don't hear none of that. So this kind of new to me. I did not watch any other draft on NFL channel or ESPN. It was all on Bleacher Report. So shout out to Bleacher Report. You know what I'm saying? So I'm new to that. That's why I'm sitting here kind of laughing because I only heard like one. I seen one. I think it was one of the. I don't know if it was a lady. She was a Raiders fan though, like an older lady, and she was doing. I think she did the pick. Did she do the pick for the Steelers or the Raiders?
The Raiders.
Okay. Because I remember saying her dad was like a big time Steelers fan or something. So I was like, what the hell is going on there? I was like, what? So I was very caught off because she never said nothing. The video cut off when she was gonna give her pick or whatever. So I didn't even know who gave picks for us or anything. I couldn't tell you, but I say this: did anything surprise you right now in the draft? Anything that you think that surprised you, Uncle Nick?
Here's the deal. This was said to be kind of a watered down draft, whatever the terminology people were using.
Mhm.
We've been kind of saying this for the last few weeks. I think whenever you don't have a plethora or QBs going out there, they tend to downplay the draft. Or if you don't have a bunch of lockdown corners in it and edges, I truly believe this was a good draft. And yes, I'm really want to jump into my team and say how we drafted, but I think there was some
Wait a minute,
value
time out.
throughout this draft.
Okay, when you said your team, who you talking about?
Well, I think that's known, the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well,
Is it?
well,
Is
we
it
gotta go
though?
back. We gotta go back and fact check that, brother. I mean, I know you said your team, but you said you got two teams. That's where I got to clarify.
My apologies, and I think both of my teams had a really good
There,
draft.
there we
Six.
go.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Okay.
It's 60-40 with me, but I think there
Oh
were
my
some good
God! Don't
players.
kill him, Raiders fans. I know, please. It's Uncle Daddy. It's probably I had a few, but yeah.
But I am telling you right now, that motherfucker back there is not real.
Go ahead. My bad.
So, God, I'm gonna get some hate for this. The biggest surprise to me, honestly, was the Chiefs jumping up, grabbing the DB out of LSU. That was a big surprise to me.
Wait a minute. Why a surprise? That's one thing I want you to kind of go in there. Why was it? Wait a minute. Because when you say surprise, I'm kind of thrown off. Like, are you surprised that they grabbed him, or you surprised they picks? What are you surprised about?
I'm surprised they jumped up to grab him. I think the kid was going to be there. Shit, I got to stop using the word kid because he's a young man. I think he would have been there at 9 when they was originally
Mm,
scheduled to pick. So I think it was a reach
okay.
for him. I think he's going to be a good player in the NFL. However, I think he would have been there at 9. I don't think he would have to give up any draft capital to get him. So that was kind of one of the biggest surprises to me going into at least round 1.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think going in round one, yeah, that was probably a big surprise. I think it was just because of the draft capital they gave up to get him.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And I would have went a different direction.
I don't. I mean, I don't know if I would have went a different direction. I wouldn't say that, but I would definitely say that to get him to give up the the draft. I forgot how many players they gave up. I didn't look at that to see what all they gave up to get the cornerback out of LSU. I don't want to mess his name up, but I know he's a cornerback out of LSU. Anyway, that was kind of surprising. I would say overall, man, just it was some later round picks that were kind of surprising. You know, um, even though they had a good draft, one of the teams that did surprise me with some of their moves was the Jets, but I think they kind of they kind of smoothed it out throughout the draft. I thought,
Yeah, yeah,
I
agreed.
was kind of seeing the tight ends that they had took. Um, Pretty much got a plethora of wide receivers. No shade on the quarterback, but them guys gonna get real pissed off. You know what I'm saying? Just because they gotta wait for somebody else, and looks like they're gonna be waiting again. But all in all,
Well,
man,
I think they on the clock. In my personal opinion, I think they already
yeah, I think they're
got
on
the
the
number
clock
1 pick
now.
on the
Yeah, I
clock.
was gonna. Well,
Yeah,
we gonna see. They
top
might
5 at
not have
least.
the number one because they
Top
really
5.
ain't. They're not gonna need it, but they could definitely be top five next year. That's
Top 5.
easily a
Top
fact.
5.
Cause
Top
ain't no
5.
telling if Gino's gonna be Gino's gonna be there or not. So, yo, man, I want to pivot to something real quick. Since we talked about surprises, and I know Uncle Daddy, you ready to let in on this one and listen. I'm gonna let you go ahead and cook because you probably foaming at the mouth to say talk about them. Draft winners. We gonna talk winners and losers.
Hold up, brother. What about my surprises?
Oh yeah, oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, you
You
did.
said
Rob him of that.
oh, I did. Okay. Who's wait a minute. Yeah, you did say surprise. I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro. What was your surprise?
My surprise. Well, Jeremiah. Well, I got two. I'm
Oh,
pretty
okay.
sure it's
That's a
general
good one.
consensus. Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals
Oh,
and
yeah.
Rams drafting Ty Simpson where they drafted him at.
You know what? I was okay. So that we gonna talk about that. That's definitely one right there. We gonna definitely dive into here later on the show. But yes, man, the Jeremiah Love was definitely one. That was the one I think everybody's like, damn, he's good, but the Cardinals, what are y'all got a lot of other things and pieces y'all could have needed. But
A lot
again,
of
me and Uncle Dave done talked about this a lot. Sometimes, man, you gotta go get that luxury pick, and then you
yeah, but
better hope.
make
What?
that luxury.
Well. Here's the deal. I'm playing devil's advocate right now, bro. We
Okay.
were told plenty of times when we drafted Brock Bowers that was a luxury pick. We were told
And Genty.
what I'm getting ready to go to Genty. When we went and grabbed Genty, that was a luxury pick because we didn't have no other pieces. In walked Spy Tech and said, "Watch this, free agent, free agent, free agent, free agent, free agent." So I'm gonna give the Cardinals grace, right?
Mhm.
Hoping that they are going to start building around it. Now, I know they did draft a quarterback. Am I right? They did draft. They did draft a quarterback. So I don't know if he's a QB of the future or not, but that's somebody we're gonna have to see. But the Ty Simpson is something else that we're gonna talk about. That was one. I'm not gonna lie. It was a shocker. I guess it was a surprise to me, but I was gonna say more shocked. But yeah, man, that was definitely one. My bad. I forgot to incorporate that because I didn't even think that the Jeremiah Love was such kind of like I knew he was gonna go high,
Mhm.
right? Or at least I figured he was gonna go first round. But I didn't know he was gonna be lottery pick high. Like now you're the rookie and you're the highest paid running back in the NFL high. Like
Hi,
crazy
hi.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see. But Jeremiah Love, they better go ahead and get some free agents for you next year, bro. Because here's the thing is, hey man, no, without a doubt, I'm gonna say this about the Cardinals real quick. They, if you look at them on paper, yes, they're miss they need some skilled players here. But if you look at some of the foundational pieces, because we don't really know about Marvin Harrison, he's gonna be that's gonna start to see what's gonna happen with him, right? But Michael Wilson, the tight end, legit. He's
Agreed.
legit.
Agreed.
He is
Agreed. I like
legit.
him. I like
You
him.
throw in Love. Now on the other side of the ball is where things get
Mhm.
shaky. So especially in the division they in,
True.
you got to bring it in that division. So hopefully the Cardinals can do it. But man, listen, that's where we was at. Now I do want to go into talking about some winners and losers. You guys tell me who you actually thought really won in the draft. You know what I'm saying? And who lost. We'll start with the winners first. You know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of get out there who they thought maybe won. Then we'll go into the losers because we all probably got our opinions on who we definitely think lost in version of the draft. But Uncle Daddy, I'll start with you, man. Who you think? Who give
Raiders.
me a winner?
Raiders.
Okay,
Raiders. Let me tell you something. We had, in my personal opinion, we got 2 first-round picks in this draft. Um, well, I see your face over there, Steph. But here's the deal. We
now
won.
hold on, Uncle Daddy. Before you start, I will say this. Raiders did receive a grade of an A during the draft, so just let you know right there, they received an A. But
I appreciate that nugget. But here's the deal. In my personal opinion, hands down, we got the best QB in the draft. I think one of the best QBs within the draft within the last 2 or 3 years. I'll put it out there.
really,
He's got it between
wow,
the ears. Hey, best over the thrower shoulder
back shoulder, got that back
back
shoulder
shoulder. Sorry,
magician.
thrower of the football. And please let me throw this disclaimer out there real quick. I chipped my damn tooth, so if I sound a little bit goofy today, y'all, please forgive me, but I chipped the tooth today. But anywho, love the Mendoza pick. That was hands down a lock. Everybody knew that was going to happen. But I will say this: one of the ones I am most excited about. It happened in the fourth. We actually it's 2 picks we got in the fourth that I'm super excited about. I'm gonna go backwards on this one. Mike Williams, the running back out of Arkansas that we picked up.
Mike Washington, yeah.
Washington.
I mean, Washington, my
Yeah.
apologies. Man, that's going to really help Genty. That's going to give him some rest. Similar running styles to me personally, but I really like that pick. And McCoy out of Tennessee, man, come on.
Yeah,
I bet you there was a
Gerard
bunch of
McCoy.
teams. I bet you there was a bunch of teams that was looking at him probably around that 4th or 5th, and we were able to get him. If that young man is healthy and can do what he can do, that was one of probably the biggest steals to me in the draft.
Would you say that was the biggest low risk, high reward? Because you got him in the 4th round though. Even though you did kind of move up to get him, you got him in the 4th round. And he's
I'm
gonna really say this. They took the center/guard in the 3rd. I'd have picked him in the 3rd, to really be honest with you.
But to me, that's a high risk, high reward. Because like with what I read at the medicals, essentially, you'd be lucky for him to get past that first contract, or even play throughout the whole season, from what I read. So that's why he fell to the 4th to a lot of teams. And to be honest, I heard a lot of teams just took him off their board altogether, just because of that simple fact. So, I mean, it's very, I don't know. I think it just kind of depends.
So let me ask you this though: if
Thank you.
everything comes back with the medicals and he's fine, and I trust NFL doctors over NCAA doctors, but if everything comes back with this kid and he's fine, and he's a Pat Surtain type that you got in the 4th, does that all go away?
I mean, that's the thing. NFL doctors are the ones that said this. It wasn't college football doctors. NFL doctors, the medical staff of the NFL teams, actually, the ones.
Well, they said the NFL doctor said Max Crosby wasn't going to be playing this year.
This year, or in his like college career.
No, this year.
I mean, that was the Ravens doctor. That was just one team's doctor. You have 32 teams.
Oh, it was 2. It was Dallas. Dallas had a doctor in it. Had a hand in that. So we got 2.
So we got 32 teams, or 30, essentially 32 teams, all said the same thing, which is why he fell out of the 1st round. If it wasn't for that injury or the medical history, he'd have been the first, probably arguably the first cornerback taken.
Agreed.
In the draft. So I would say if somehow he gives y'all 7 to 8 good years, that's all y'all need. 7 8 good years.
That's it.
I don't even think we need as many as that. I think that if he's
got to get past the contract term
even,
is what.
But I'm saying he went the 4th round, so that contract's a little different than somebody that went 1st and 3rd. Right. So that's why I said more low risk, because you spent the 4th rounder on him. You don't expect him to be ready this season, and you're not going to rush him. I believe that's the reason why I think the Raiders did what they did. If you really if we paying attention and we're looking at the personnel that they brought in, they were basically making sure they were trying to solidify themselves to be rotational, to get rotational pieces in. Even at the point of edge rushers, the one thing I will say is the fact that McCoy is, when he's healthy, you got somebody. So
he's that dude. And
that's where I think it's gonna bode well for the Raiders, is just to be able to have somebody that they know can play that position. Now, if he's ready, when he be ready, if he's gonna give you 7 8 years, hell, I don't know if he's gonna give you now. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've seen the Raiders kind of do this before with DJ Hayden. DJ Hayden had a serious injury.
Agreed.
And they drafted him. It was hard, and the thing was, DJ Hayden was he was okay, right? Never really kind of panned out to where he was drafted, in my opinion. But overall, McCoy going in the 4th, I think that he would have still got drafted, just even if he didn't get picked up in the 4th, which would have been kind of crazy. But if he had went somewhere in the 5th, any GM or somebody in their war room would have been loving it. They'd been like, yo, we stole something. Even if we got him for 2 years, it don't even matter. And then, but with all of what the doctors are saying, I could see why they have concerns for that knee. But man, knees right now, bro, the way they do these knees is just.
And let's be correct me on this. I think the knee is fine. It was just like a little bone fragment that kind of chipped off, or somebody didn't catch during the surgery. That is got to go in
Well,
and do a
they
little
didn't know.
cleanup.
They didn't know if he was gonna have to have one more surgeries. That's one of the things
And that
too.
was to remove the bone, if I'm not the little chip bone
Well,
or
yeah, but
whatever, if I'm not
that's
mistaken.
it's the whole point of the structure of the knee. The NFL is not gonna not draft you or you drop because they just think, oh, you just need to get a little cleanup. You know, like an MCL, let's just clean it up. It's
Yeah.
it's about a, you know what I mean? Like you a first round. If you're gonna be a first round pick, yes, they gonna check out everything on you. They gonna make sure everything is good to go. They want to know about every injury you done had, what surgery did it, what doctor did it, you know, so forth and so on. So yeah, I mean, we could say he could give us multiple years. He could not. But at the end of the day, like I said, it was the fact that the Raiders were getting for a fourth rounder. To me, that's a win for them.
And
Also,
I don't want to
too,
spend too much time on this. I know everybody got something to say. How do you feel about it, Rob?
no, I mean just as far as I think, as far as the Raiders overall, or just
Mhm.
McCoy. I
The
mean,
McCoy pick.
no, I did like the pick. Like I said, I
Okay.
think for the value of where they got him, it was good. I do like the fact because we had talked about it before. I do like Mike Washington. You know,
Well,
I
that's why
think
the only reason I said that, I know you and I talked about it, but everybody else didn't hear our
yeah, I
opinions on
knew
that.
when they
So
went and grabbed him. I already knew. I was like, I knew they was gonna draft a running back, and where they got him at. It's like, man, you got value there. So because he doesn't have to tote the ball that many times. So it's just one of them things where I feel like he was one of the winners for it. But I don't want to cut too much into that into Stefan's time. Why don't you tell who's your winner,
yeah.
bro?
Who's your winner?
All right. So me not being biased, I'm gonna go with the Jets. The Jets are my winners for this draft. You got David Bailey, you got Kenyon Sadiq, you got Omar Cooper Jr., you got D'Angelo Pons. Like you got
They cooked.
four instant starters right there,
You
automatically.
don't know how mad I'm about that Cooper pick. You have no.
Boy,
Oh my
Oh.
God, my blood got boiling.
And they jumped back up into the first to get him. And they still had enough to get Pons. So
Yeah.
for me, you get the best edge rusher, arguably debatable, the best edge rusher in the draft. You get the top tight end in the draft who can play you can play him in mismatches in third or goal line situations. Then you got Cooper Jr., who was a fat high rising prospect in draft boards. And then you got Pons. To me, Pons is a dog, bro. 5'9", like Aaron Glenn, bro. I'm telling you. Like, he's in the perfect type of system for his style of play. So for me, Jets are my winners. What about you, Rob?
Man, I want to go to the Jets real quick because I told you when I looked at they draft, I was starting to get. I was wondering, like, mind you, because I know who the quarterback is. That's the only reason why I was like, bro, y'all giving a crackhead some new shit, and it's just like, yeah, I don't know. But oh boy, the tight end out of Oregon, Kenyon Sadiq. I don't know if I'm saying Kenyon Sadiq. Yo, bro,
yeah.
that's a effing wide receiver. He is a wide receiver, bro, in a tight end body. He lose
Yeah,
20 pounds. He runs like a four. I think he's like a 4.4, 4.3 ish, something like that. He's not
yeah.
a. I think he's somewhere in the four. That when I seen that, I was like, on Omar Cooper, that was there. Um, but David Bailey, picking up David Bailey, I said Aaron Glenn and them know what they doing with that. So I was
He's a defensive
really
mind, though.
Mhm.
I had to go back and look at that when you said that. I was like, man, I could not remember the tight end's name that I wanted to highlight, bro. But when I seen that, I was like, yeah. I think that for me, man, one of my winners though, that I will say that I wasn't gonna cheat. You already know, man, me being a Raiders fan, you know I was gonna say the Raiders, but I really wasn't. You know what I mean? I think for the most part, who I really liked, I'm gonna tell you guys right here because I had to pull them up, was the Cincinnati Bengals. I know it sounds crazy. I
Yep.
think
Which
Cincinnati.
pick?
Uh, well,
Just in general. Team.
yeah, in general, I think the Cincinnati Bengals made some good picks this year, and most of the part, I
They
want to
did to
pull
me,
it up.
but is there a particular player you liked?
Yeah, it was. Hold on, I don't like messing his name up, so let me get his
I gotta
name
say
for.
it. I'm gonna say it because
Cassius Howell.
I know his family. Shout out to Cassius Hal if I'm pronouncing the first name. My tooth.
Well, that
If
wasn't
I'm doing the
it, but
first
yeah,
name
go
right.
ahead. He was one of them.
A
Yeah.
local kid from Kansas City, pissed off Mizzou overlooked him. But shout out to him for making it.
I mean,
And I think he went to damn
because there's a lot of people. Reason why I'm
Bowling
saying
Green.
it, there's a lot of
He
people
started
that.
at Bowling Green.
No, I'm saying there's a lot of players that came out of the town that didn't go to Mizzou. Is what I'm saying. There's a lot.
Yeah. But I hate that we overlooked him, man. He's gonna be a good player coming up, man. He's
Yeah,
he's
I
gonna be a
think,
good
but
player on
he
Sundays.
was one because I forgot how many years was he at Bowling Green before I
2, if I'm right.
was it two? No, I think it was three. Hold on, I'm looking at it now
I'm almost positive it was
because
2.
he went all 4 years, bro.
No, he went 4 years in school, but I'm just saying I think 2 was at Bowling Green.
So the guy I was looking at because I actually remember this guy, Mike Renner. I was watching it because I was looking up some of them and I was like, hold on, they got everything. It seemed like they almost got everything they needed, right? But for the
Agreed.
most
Agreed.
part, I did like Cassius Howe. They did get them. They got it. They got um cornerback out of Washington. It's just like
Correct.
some of
Mario
these
Davis.
guys. Davis. I seen some of him, and I was like, some of these guys are actually pretty good. But they went and got it. They went and made sure they solidified their offensive line. They got a center.
They
They made
did.
some good moves, man, in the draft, and I really was just like, I'm pretty cool with the overall landscape of what they did. That was just one of the teams when I kind of looked. I was like, all right, because I didn't really expect them to make the moves they did. And they definitely wanted to build towards the future and see what they can do going forward. Because right now, you got a well-oiled machine on that offensive side. You got to find ways to build through the draft and just give
Agreed.
these Bengals some what they need, man. So those was my winners. But we gonna talk losers, SB. All right. So I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll kick it off, man. One of the losers that I was gonna talk about, the Miami Dolphins.
What? What?
The Miami Dolphins, man.
I gotta hear the wow on this one, bro, because I gotta come back for this one. I gotta
So
come back.
I can't pronounce his last name, but the tight end of Ohio State. I'm not real high on him. I did like Proctor. I did like Proctor. Out of Alabama. Chris
Okay.
Johnson. I think he's good. I didn't think Chris because I from everything I looked, I ain't. They felt like Chris Johnson was a good player, but he was one of them guys I feel like he could have gotten the second round. Maybe not, but the way it was looking, I felt like they needed more on the offensive side, especially on the line. Um, but I wasn't happy about the linebacker out of Texas Tech either. I didn't like him. Everybody else, I will say Caleb Douglas is cool. Um, of course, shout out to Chris Bell. Hey, listen, Chris Bell, Louisville, college football, baby. You my dude. You was my dude. Although, I got you drafted in my league too, in my college football. But um Kyle Lewis, I'm not a fan of him. I didn't really think when I looked at some of his and the thing was I just only know a couple of guys because I just went to go look at certain players.
Mhm.
They had 13 picks, man, and there was nobody that really like super stood out. I mean, the wide receiver out of Missouri, okay, cool. I feel like they got a lot of offensive guys as far as weapons, but not enough that I seen on the offensive line. I feel like they should have went heavy offensive line in this draft, and then they could have built out wide receiving core. I don't know if these guys are really gonna be there in the next 2-3 years, bro, because the Dolphins could be, I mean, not saying they're not going to be there in the next 2-3 years because they got to be there on the contract, but the Dolphins need to fix their offensive line, their defense. They completely obliterated everything. They blew everything up, and then you go and say, let's go get some wide receivers and fucking tight ends. I wasn't with it. So to me, when you're trying to feed a need in some, you at least want to get some good pieces in. I'm not and the thing is they went and got what was the other tight end? What's his name? I think he was out of he a SEC tight end. I don't even remember
Oh,
his name.
Sado Torre.
Yeah, whatever, however his name is pronounced. Him too. What are we doing?
Okay, so let me just rebuttal your take real quick, bro, because respectfully,
Go
I
ahead.
I don't think they had the worst draft. However, I will say Proctor, they needed a left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
They needed a left tackle bad. They went and got it. Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson allowed, I think he had like only 16% completion percentage when quarterbacks targeted him when he played. So he is actually a shutdown corner, and he ran like the low 4.3s. So he crazy, bro. He crazy
He
good, and
fast. No, he
he,
fast. But
he
when
was
you
rising
say
up draft boards as we got closer, bro. Chris Johnson was being mentioned as one of the top corners, and if you see how the draft kind of worked out, a lot of the top corners and the talented corners that would fit a system, they started falling off. And let's go to Jacob Rodriguez. I'm not gonna let you disrespect Jacob Rodriguez, right?
I'm disrespect. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I was livid when they took Jacob Rodriguez because I wanted Jacob Rodriguez in Carolina, and I almost stopped watching the draft, bro, because that was my guy through and through, the only guy I wanted us to draft. If we'd have drafted him, I would have been cool with everything else. But the fact that they didn't get a chance to draft him because the Dolphins drafted him, which pissed me off, because why? Dolphins, you already have Terrell Dotson and Jordan Brooks. Why the hell do you need Jacob
So
Rodriguez for?
so
Are
you
you
so you're agreeing with me.
I a little bit. I like the player. I just hate the fit. Because are you going
Right.
for 4-3-4? I see now that they're going a little multifaceted type of defense where they're just playing positionless defense football, and I don't understand it. But that's why I don't coach, and that's why they do coach. And then the Kyle Lewis, the linebacker masquerading as a safety, you drafted another guy who can play positionless football, which I understand why they went and took him, but it just pissed me off that they took Jacob Rodriguez. I will forever have a disdain for the Miami Dolphins as long as Jacob Rodriguez plays for them, especially if he makes a Pro Bowl or if he becomes Defensive Rookie of the Year. I'ma be pissed
So
because he
go ahead. Yeah,
proud
yeah, yeah,
as
yeah.
blue.
Yeah, well, let me clarify. Reason why I
And I like
said
Chris Bell's selection too.
let me clarify the reason why I said they didn't do good, and I feel like they did worse because, like I said, the needs I felt like they should have fit. They should have did that in the boat, bro. They could have passed up on Jacob Rodriguez. They could have.
Good have.
I
They
felt like they should have. I'm not saying he's not a good player.
fine.
I didn't like it for the Dolphins because I already knew who they had at linebacker.
Mhm.
Why? Like he ain't a DN, guys. He ain't a rotational piece.
Yeah, he's a
Now
starter.
Rodriguez, I mean, not say Rodriguez Johnson. I just felt like I'm not gonna shit on Johnson. He is fast. I mean, I ain't gonna say he's small. He's actually got good size. I may be going a little bit too much with that one, but I just feel like they're they have to really focus on one side right now. And you going out getting, I will say defensively, I don't mind. I might take that one back. I might take back Johnson a little bit. I mean, he went 27, so I'm like, I'm not really tripping about that. But everybody else, as far as going to go get Rodriguez, Caleb Douglas, I'm not. I was like, why do you need Caleb Douglas? But I feel like they were like, okay, we need to start planning for the future for our guys. But then you're gonna grab these two damn tight ends, and then you grab Chris Bell. Which here's the thing, I like Chris Bell for the Dolphins. I do.
Mhm.
I don't know if Caleb Douglas is gonna really get to shine in that Miami offense. That's just
Oh,
my opinion.
there ain't nobody there.
Well, here the thing is, I don't know. I don't know if they got the quarterback to fit. Because a lot of people like Malik Willis. I'm not saying Malik Willis is a horrible quarterback, but Malik Willis hasn't done anything to show me like he can control the helm of a team. Under LaFleur, he looked okay. He uses his legs a lot. When
Mhm.
you ask him to stand in the pocket and deliver the ball to where it needs to be, he's not that efficient at it. So maybe under a new head coach, new coordinator, maybe that'll change. So, this is just a preliminary. We'll see. We'll probably double back to this in 6 months and see how people feel. But for me, it was the Dolphins, bro. I mean, it wasn't the fact I think they drafted bad. It's just the pieces that they got. It was like, bro, you should have been
Yeah.
line. You should have been offensive line heavy. I mean, I don't mind a tight end. What the hell you get two of them for? What'd you get? And I mean, when they picked up the guy that I can never pronounce his name, Trayor, they got him in the fifth out of
Mhm.
Mississippi State when we went to Mississippi State, and then they got Kaepernick, the tight end out of Ohio State. They got him in the third.
Akmarak, yeah.
What? Like who's in the draft room? Like we
So
here, even if you got another tackle.
so Kakmarek is he's a good blocker, bro. He's a good blocking tight end. And I think that's so what they're doing is trying to build a two tight end system, essentially trying to
Kind of go
rebuild the
12
they had in
personnel.
Green Bay to where like how Green Bay had Tucker Craft and dang, I'm sorry, y'all. They basically essentially had
Musgrave, Tucker Craft.
they basically had three potential starting tight ends all on their roster. So I think what Green Bay or what Miami is doing is trying to rebuild that similar system where they have a bunch of not number one guys, but a bunch of number two guys. So that way you can't hone in on a particular person. So I think they're just because they had Crab, Musgrave, and Wild, like they had a bunch of tight ends. So I think that's the same type of build that they're going for. And everybody knows this is going to be a rebuild, clearly, because
Yeah, clearly. Yeah,
everybody. So I think next year is when they go full force of going kind of like what the Raiders did, going after free agents, going after, more offensive line prospects at that point.
got you. Okay. All right. Well,
But
you know who mine is. What who you got? Who you got? Who you
my
got?
loser is from the AFC South, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yo,
Ooh, okay, let's talk about it. Let's
yo,
talk about it.
That's what y'all are. Trash. Unacceptable.
Let's talk about
I
it.
mean, I'm gonna send you the graphic, bro. I would appreciate it if you post it when you go through. But like the Jaguars drafted so many players outside of the consensus position that they're supposed to be in. They literally went overboard. They drafted people way too early, and I understand.
Yep.
Go get the
Yep.
guy when your guy is available. However, you don't have a first round pick.
Don't.
Your first pick is a tight end,
Mm.
Nate Bokercher. With your first pick, he caught 19 passes total. And I don't want to say that's for his career, but I'm pretty sure that was for his career. He caught 19 passes. It might be 19 passes on the season, but I'm pretty sure he caught 19 passes.
Okay, so
19 passes
I'm
and you
looking at
the
it. Yeah, because he was 2020. He didn't play. He got red shirted in 21. Played all 12 games in 22. He played all 12 games from 22 to 25.
mm,
But yeah, subpar year, man. I mean, do you have any reasoning why? Because I'm glad you brought up Jacksonville. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see the reason why they decided to take him
I
pick
don't.
24. I mean, round two. I mean, he was in round
I,
two, but it was like, why was that their first pick? Like,
so I don't know. And let's say how we're going through, like Mel Kiper's prospect rankings, right?
yeah.
This tight end was ranked 127th on
Mm,
Mel Kiper's score, and you took
yeah,
him in
I
the
didn't
second
know.
round.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Now, this is just me personally. You got Max Clare, Oscar Delp, which was one of my favorite tight ends, and Eli Raridon. You could have drafted either of those three,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
decided to go with the guy who caught 19 passes last year with your first pick. Your first pick. And you have much more glaring holes. And then you went Albert Regis from Texas A&M. I don't hate Albert Regis, right? But Grayson Halton is a beast when I
yeah.
tell y'all this, bro. Let me tell you, he is a productive guy. And if you watch, I watched the all 22 film on him. I am not a avid tape watcher. I'm not the guy who's gonna sit there and be like, I'll watch hours of tape on him. No, I watched what I needed to see. What I saw was that man was block shedding and was in up in the back. And I'm talking about Grayson Halton.
Yeah.
And you passed on him to take Albert Regis. Then you took Jalen Husky over Jadon Kennedy and Keontae Scott. Both players which I like more. if Husky's gonna move to safety, I understand that. But Kennedy can also play safety. He ends up in Kansas City. We're gonna see what it looks like when he's
Yeah.
over in Kansas. Keontae Scott is a nickel back by trade, and he is going to be blitzing a lot. That is going to be his thing. He's going to be an effective blitzer, but he has a great football IQ. I'm not saying Husky does not have a good football IQ. However, I'm saying you drafted these players outside of the position that they were going to go, and you probably could have traded back. But once again, you see your guy, go get your guy. I'm all for that. However, the guys that you went and got didn't make sense to the needs that you needed on your roster.
No, facts. Facts.
And
They
that's why, to me, the Jaguars essentially lost are the losers in this draft. I could be wrong. Hopefully, you keep this. We revisit it, and we can go over if I'm wrong or not at the end of the year.
I mean,
Statistics,
what
we'll
are you
go
gonna
through.
be? Here's the thing. With what we know Jacksonville has right now,
Mhm.
what value do you believe he's adding to that team? Even
No,
in
that's my thing. I don't think Bo Kircher is gonna come out there and have 25 to 35, or not even 25, 55 receptions, 30 receptions. I don't think he's gonna come out there and do that. So you take him with your first pick, though.
yeah,
That's the part. And then Albert Regis, I don't know what type of production he's gonna have because he is now behind Armstead and I forgot the other defensive tackle's name, but he is playing behind them as a depth piece. So you're drafting people to not start but be bench players.
yeah,
So in my mind, I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me because it's not like you were one or two players away from winning the chip. It's not like you were like, hey, yeah, you made the playoffs. You did. You made it. Um, but you can't trot out that same team and think that you're gonna win a Super Bowl with it.
right.
So, just in my opinion, you drafted a bunch of depth and the middle rounds, 4, 5, and 6 is where you kind of get your depth pieces at,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, agreed.
1, 2, and 3 is where you're expected to get your starters,
Yeah,
players that are going to be projected to
yeah,
start for you.
projected to start. No, that's right. Well, I ain't saying he ain't gonna be a starter. I'm just
Yeah,
only
but
thinking
right now
about.
he's behind Brandon Strange. I don't think he's going to be starting over Brandon
I
Strange.
mean, no, he might be a little bit better blocker. I don't know. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what
but
it
that's what I'm
is.
saying. But your first pick in the second round,
No,
that's
I'm
it.
with you.
So that's why I'm a little confused. Jacksonville fans, hey, comment below. Let me
Yeah,
know what you
you
think.
gotta listen. You definitely, if it's a Jacksonville
Argue,
fan
argue
looking
with
right
me.
now, they definitely
Argue
like,
with me.
what the
Let me
hell?
know.
They
Branch
probably they
Huddle,
probably agreeing too.
go to his page. I don't care. Let me know.
Yeah,
Go visit me on X. Let me know. You could DM me all that stuff. Let me know that I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure y'all feel the same way. I'm pretty
man,
sure.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You hit it on the head with that one. That's actually a good one because I forgot about Jacksonville, bro. Even when I was going through it, I was just trying to pick out certain ones that I knew like initially where I got to see the majority of their picks. I completely forgot they took it because they, like you said, they didn't have a first round pick, and I think they I don't I didn't ever know I didn't know the formality of them with the pick with the Raiders they had made because I didn't remember if they actually got back into the fourth round um, with their picks. But if they did, they did, they did. And I couldn't remember because I didn't, like I said, I didn't heavily focus on that. But I knew that tight end because I remember when I was watching Bleacher Report and shout out to I think it's the NFL Stock Exchange. Them guys are
Mhm.
pretty good.
They are. They
And they
are.
were
Coach.
talking about they was like he was pretty down. He was like he's down on my board, Trevor. That shout out to Trevor, man. He's like he's down on my board. I was like, I don't know. So that's who somebody I think that we were looking at to the point of like to your point. I mean, I'm saying is they could have waited to get him. He definitely would have been there. I feel like definitely third round. I don't know if that's what I'm saying. I don't know if they had a fourth round pick. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look that up and find out if they had a fourth round pick. But that's our winners and losers, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but you guys already know Uncle Daddy had to step away for a second. He'll be back to join us here in a few, man. But me and SB gonna get this thing cooking. This is one thing we always gonna do is get going. Now, with this next one, I want you guys to really think about what we're getting ready to say here, because I know it's gonna be a lot of people saying, "Why are you even talking about it right now?" Because that's what we do. We talk about the shit before it happens. That way we can say we told you. And then if we wrong, then I'll just ignore it and be like, find it. Yeah, you gonna
Mhm.
find it. It don't matter. Anyway, hot seat, man. So in this, we talk about guys that are safe to guys that's in trouble. Okay. And we're basing it off the draft. All right. A lot of times you get guys. So prime example, Mike Ditka would have been a hot seat candidate because he traded everything away. All right. But then you look at somebody like, Mike McCarthy, who's, hey, look, they ain't gonna get rid of you yet. But there's somebody in that middle that's a little warm. So, bro, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start off if you got somebody that you really think, as far as a team that you feel is on the hot seat,
Mhm.
lukewarm, and no pressure at all. Let me
Okay.
know.
So I got a few actually.
Okay.
So for our warm, which are lukewarm, is Aaron Glenn with the Jets.
Yeah.
Last year they were horrible, and now this year they had a pretty decent draft class. Got some decent free agents in there.
Yep.
Uh, got some weapons on offense, and still retained their running back. So I'm looking at the Jets with Aaron Glenn. Dan Campbell with the Lions. I'll say it's warm. It's like kind of like still a little bit cold because I still think he'll still be there, but it's the fact that they didn't make the playoffs, and it's like the expectations are high in Detroit now. Now it's a lot
Yep.
higher because now, you lost your offensive coordinators. Both of them got head coaching positions. And then all of a sudden, that's when you miss the playoffs. So now you have to look at Dan Campbell like, hey, how much of an impact are you actually having on this team? And how much was just the coordinators actually just doing their jobs as coordinators and carrying your team to success? So those are my two warmers. My hot is Zach Taylor with the Bengals. That seat is steaming hot, steaming hot. Because brother, now they got you some defenders. Now you got a defense. Your offense was never the problem. Your defense is now legit. You lost Trey Hendrickson, but you replaced it with Boye Mafe. You got you went and got Cassius Howell, Takario Davis. Like you've made you went and traded for Dexter Lawrence. Then you went and made free agent additions. You went and got guy from Minnesota, forgot his name. Oh, Jonathan Allen. You went and brought Jonathan Allen in. So you have shored up that defense. You shored up the interior of that defense, and you got pass rushing help on both edges. And now you went and got secondary. You had your regular secondary, but you added Cario Davis.
Yep.
So you now have the pieces to have at least at bare minimum a middle of the pack defense. So with the middle pack defense, Bengals should be in the playoffs. My other coach, Todd Bowles. Both your offensive coordinators that you've had made the playoffs last season. Liam Cohen made the playoffs with the Jaguars. Dave Canales made the playoffs with the Panthers. So you missed the playoffs. And now you lost Mike Evans. Your roster's reconstructing. Now you're on the hot seat right now because you got to make the playoffs with this roster because your window is closing very quickly. Like
Yep.
the Saints are rising. The Panthers, we're rising. The Bucks, they might be in trouble because we don't know what this team is going to look like without Mike
I
Evans.
was just getting ready to say we really don't know what this team gonna look like without Mike Evans, man.
No. So you
That
take him
is a good.
equation.
That's a good one right
You
there.
lost Monte David. You lost some edge rushing help. You got Ruben Bain back there. That's great. Then you lost Rashad White, who carried the team last year in the wake of what's his name's injury. So I say, man, like right now your seat's a little hot. They was talking about firing you last year. So if you don't make the playoffs again this year and you get outshined by the Saints or the Panthers or even the Falcons, I'd say he's probably out of there. And they're bringing in a young mind because they could have retained Dave Canales and made him the head coach, and you probably would have made the playoffs. You could have retained Liam Cohen, probably would have made the playoffs. But both offensive coordinators left, and both offensive coordinators made the playoffs last season. So those are my hot seats.
Okay. Okay. Man, I'm gonna tell you what. You actually took like two of mine, and it got me all jacked up. No, 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 because it shows that we was thinking alike. Ty Bowles definitely was one, and
Yeah.
Zach was the other. And I was like, these two motherfuckers, y'all better figure it out, or else you gonna be in the unemployment line. But I planned ahead a little bit, so I will tell you this. Somebody I think there's no heat on them. I will give certain coaches the benefit of the doubt that's probably new to the NFL, right? I'm not new to the NFL, but new to the position of being a head coach. With a
Mhm.
lot of the shift that's going on, like I said, like Mike McCarthy, he there's no stress for him right now. Just because the process that Pittsburgh's going through, I think it's going to be a new ascent with Mike Tomlin being gone and bringing him in and understanding what that Steelers culture is in the building. That's going to be a little bit different. But I will say also, there's not going to be too much stress for him. Somebody else that I will say, you brought up Dan Campbell, and I'll be honest, man. I don't know. I do feel like Dan Campbell is pretty much all okay right now. Maybe in another year or two, things will start to pick up. But if I had to say anything for him going into this season, I think he's okay. I think with the process of what's been happening to him on both sides of the coordinator side with him, it's just something he's got had to deal with. It's what happens when you be a head coach. You start doing good, you're gonna lose your coaches. All right,
Mhm.
that's just something that happens. I mean, it's a little bit different, but then you look at somebody that like um, um, in 49ers. Help me out. Shanahan. You look at Shanahan and how he can kind of be able to bring those guys in, but we also know he wants to focus more heavily on the offensive side, so he keeps that thing running. He just wants somebody on the defensive side to take care of it. So other than that, I think a lot of the newer coaches are going to get some leeway. There could be some depending on. I will say that as far as somebody that's warm, Aaron Glenn is definitely warm. Aaron Glenn might be definitely warm. Aaron Glenn might be warm to damn near hot. And
Yep.
it's not going to be partially his fault because you might not get the best on your offensive side, not because, I think Geno's horrible, but just the pieces you brought in, your offensive coordinator, and trying to get the Jets back to where they need to be. I think it's
Hmm.
going to take just a little bit longer. I think they got good pieces there in the backfield or out on the outside. I just think once they're able to get a franchise quarterback, we could really see what's going to happen with Aaron Glenn.
Yep.
But if I had to give somebody some hot seat, it's this one guy that I was gonna pivot to because you had already gave me you took Ty Bowles and Zach Taylor because I was gonna go in on really Zach Taylor. Um, Brian Schottenheimer. Brian Schottenheimer is gonna be somebody that I think we're gonna end up looking at in the next year. Like if the Dallas Cowboys do not now, I'm gonna tell you this straight up with all respect to the Cowboys, man, they made some moves.
They did. Yeah.
They really found a way to make some moves and strike while the iron's hot. I think they're trying to maximize what they're gonna do with while Dak's still here and
Hmm.
seeing if they listen. They're trying everything they can to I ain't gonna say kick the can down the road, but they're trying everything they can to get as many solid pieces going out and getting that safety monstrous, bro. They're
Yeah.
going to be able to solidify themselves on that and just kind of kept building off of that. I really think, because I'm going to tell you right now, Malik Neighbors is pissed that the Cowboys got, um, what's his name? Gonna drive me
Ar-
nuts. Huh?
Arvell Reese.
Yeah, pissed. So I feel like the Cowboys are gonna be looking at Schottenheimer like, hey man, you gotta make it do what it do. All right. And because they were having so much trouble last year, trying to be some type of force on the defensive side.
Mhm.
They couldn't keep they couldn't fight off a wet paper bag. You know what I'm saying? So for me, Schottenheimer's warm, getting a little hot. Somebody I think that's actually on the hot seat is Kevin O'Connell.
I was thinking that too. Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell could definitely be on the hot seat this year with the Vikings. I think, and I don't know how much of JJ McCarthy was his, wanting the guy. I'm not sure. We like to say that he's the guru of the QBs, and McCarthy was supposed to be this guy. I really
Mhm.
feel like he wanted to work out with McCarthy. Maybe the organization don't want to go with JJ now. They probably seen enough. I don't know, but O'Connell could definitely be in the hot seat because now you're kind of cycling through quarterbacks at the point of it, even if he felt like he could go with McCarthy, and maybe it's an organizational thing. I don't know. I mean, we could say unless O'Connell comes out and says, "I wanted JJ, that's the guy I wanted to draft. I lobby for him, yada yada yada." It could have been where the team said we want to take him. He could have
Mhm.
went against it. I don't know, but I mean, at this point, we know how it goes. We don't blame the organizations. We blame the coaches.
Yep.
So Kevin O'Connell was somebody that I really thought because man, you look at what Seattle was able to do with Sam Darnold. That's kind of like that punch. That's a punch in the gut,
Mhm.
and you got to start finding ways to be able to figure out what's the problem and then try to rectify that. Because at this point, I'm really not looking at Kevin O'Connell the same because of what he did somewhere else. Because sometimes you hear that stuff. I remember they used to talk about that stuff with Adam Gase. Like Adam Gase is the guru. He worked with Peyton Manning. Like, what did he really do? But
Mhm.
just go somewhere and tear teams up. Hell, he went through the AFC West and did work. He went to the Dolphins and said, "Chop suey down," and then he said, "Well, you know what? That was the Dolphins. Let's take you to the Jets," and literally just broke Sam Darnold's confidence.
Mhm.
If most people don't even remember when Sam Darnold got drafted, the head coach was Todd Bowles,
Mhm.
and they were a strong defense, heavy run team. Sam Darnold played well under Todd Bowles. Now I ain't saying that he would have won a Super Bowl with
He
Todd
wouldn't.
Bowles. I don't know, but you throw him a seasoned guy like him now, and you put him on a team where they got a strong defense, they got a good running game, and look what happens. Sam Darnold
Mhm.
can get it done for you. So those are mine. I will say that for the most part, a lot of those guys are interchangeable. But as far as the high seats, those were my takes, man. I think that for these guys coming up in this season, you got to make sure that you can maximize, especially, and I mean for real, especially the Cowboys. The Cowboys definitely got to find a way to maximize this year. I was gonna throw Nick Sirianni in there, but I'm gonna wait and see till next year maybe. I feel like he could be one in the hot seat, but I don't think necessary to the point of where he would get fired next year if they just had a bad year. It would have to be a lot going on for Nick Sirianni to lose his job next year. Now, if they don't make the playoffs, they just look really bad, and you're hearing all the little back noise in the news and all that, then yeah, something else could come from there. But as far as I think with anybody else, yo man, Kevin O'Connell and Schottenheimer, y'all gonna have to figure it out. I think O'Connell is definitely gonna have to figure it out because you're in a division right now that you can actually gain control in, and you don't want to waste the years you got with Justin Jefferson out there doing what he do, and
Boy.
having those offensive weapons that they got, and squandering them because you guys can't figure out the quarterback issue. Now, bringing in Kyler Murray, who knows? That might save him, might not. I don't know. I think with having Kyler Murray is definitely gonna help with the offensive passing game, but Kyler Murray has his limitations as well. So that's just what it is. But listen, man, that was our segment of hot seat. You guys let us know, man. Who's on your hot seat? Tell us if you think you liked our hot seat, because I'm gonna tell you now, he took my shit. Like I had to pivot real quick, cause yeah, he took both of mine. But listen, man, next thing we gonna go into, which is I will say this is NFL draft grades. So I pulled this up for us earlier. Let me pull it up here. One was the Buffalo Bills
Mhm.
received a grade A. I thought that was a little high, but then you go and look at who they picked up, and I'm like, okay, I could kind of see why they the Buffalo Bills kind of filled every need they kind of they pretty much needed on their team. Safety, wide receivers, um, linebacker. They filled every need, and then they got some good quality guys. You know that linebacker out of TCU, Caleb Elarms. I remember him. This is like okay. Now, mind you, I don't know how they're going to be in this new head coaching era, but I
Mhm.
know his familiarity with the team is going to be some. But I like the fact that the Buffalo Bills they gave him a grade A. I didn't know I was going to argue it at first until when I really looked at it and I was like, I don't think that I think they actually did pretty good, you know. So I didn't know how you felt about. I didn't know if you knew anything about the Bills or anything like that, but I will say this: I did appreciate the fact that they did feel certain needs that on the team that they could probably get. I think the receivers he kind of reminds me a little bit like Shakur,
Yep.
maybe a little
All right.
bit better, but I mean we can go there. I don't think it's necessarily needed for them to have another outside guy because I mean not outside guy, but another high profile wide out seeing because I do think DJ Moore is going to flourish in
Yep.
that offense and Josh Allen pretty much should be able to do what he needs to do. So that's one of my grades. I'm gonna kind of bounce it back and forth with you and let me know who you think if you got any grades that you wanted to that you thought were too high or too low because there's a few of them. And if there's one you want to know about, I can definitely tell you.
Let's see. So, so with the Bills thing you were talking about, like I don't think it's an A. Look, well, let me start by saying this. I have a huge beef with giving out grades the day after the draft
Hmm.
because it doesn't make sense. Because what we're telling the GMs is you didn't pick who I said you should pick, so therefore I'm giving you a bad grade.
Right.
It's just like saying we're the teachers and they're the students.
Right.
I'm not give I'm not gonna give a GM a bad grade based off of the fact that you didn't draft who I think you should draft. So to me, that is just the worst thing to do. And it was a post, it wasn't Bucky Brooks. I think it was a post. He said the same thing. He said draft grades don't make sense to me right after the draft because you're telling he didn't say what I said, but essentially that's how I feel. You telling GMs like, hey, I'm giving you an F. Why? Because you didn't draft who I told you to draft.
Hmm.
But then what everyone fails to do is go revisit the draft grades they gave
Hmm.
and say, oh, we gave you an F, but actually you got an A because all your players is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Now historically speaking, John Lynch and that organization has not had a great time drafting. They just get bailed out because Kyle Shanahan is just that great of a head coach where he can make anything work.
Hmm.
Like, for example, they traded up to take Trey Lance, but then they drafted
Purdy.
uh Purdy that same year. That's
Yeah.
what saved that draft
Say that
class.
draft. Exactly.
Um, but yeah, I don't put too much stock into draft classes. Because even like I saw a few draft classes, the athletic ranked us 12th. And I'm like, and I say us as in the Carolina Panthers, they ranked us 12th. How do you rank us 12th? Based off of what? Based off of who you thought Dan Morgan should have grabbed, who he did grab. You said Monroe Freeling is a project left tackle. You could have got him later. Actually, no, we couldn't. Do you know why we drafted him? Because Ike Kwanu is probably out for the year. We have zero lineman depth. Then we got Rasheed Walker for a 1 year, $4 million deal worth up to 10 million with incentives. And he's kind of inconsistent. But then behind him, we don't have no real depth. Taylor Moton is 31, about to be 32 by the time the league year starts. Don't
Mm-hmm.
have any depth behind him. So we needed to take Freeling. So you're telling me because we took Freeling where we took him at, you giving us a bad grade on that? Or you giving that a ding? And then you talk about Lee Hunter. You drafted a nose tackle who's a rotational piece who wasn't even that great. Okay, so let's say Lee Hunter comes out and makes a Pro Bowl. What you gonna say? You're not gonna come out and say, "Oh, sorry, we was wrong." No, you're gonna move past the piece that you said and say, "Oh, the Panthers draft was strong." Da da.
Yeah.
You ain't go back and say what you said. So me personally, I don't particularly care for draft grades because I'm not gonna tell GM how to do his job.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna grade him on anything until I see the players play,
Okay.
except for the Jags.
All right.
I'm sticking by that.
And I get what you're saying about the draft grades, and they are kind of skewed towards who people assume that they're going to get. I also believe that sometimes grades are given based off of need and how well the team fit those needs. Um, like I said, the Jets, even though I didn't like some of the picks the Jets made, I believe some of the analysts on Fox Sports gave them like a B plus, right? um, they really liked some of the and don't get me wrong, the picks they got, I did like some of the picks. But then I looked at the Dolphins and the Dolphins they got an A and I was like, wait, what? But
So
I did look at some of the pieces that they had, but I felt like for me, building you're building a team that's not going to be ran by Malik Willis. And in some aspect, I do understand it because, like I said, most analysts will go and they'll say, "Well, look, because they, like I said, they said about the Raiders, hey man, you guys got luxury picks. You could have waited." Or even in this draft, people said, you shouldn't go get Mendoza. You should trade back, load up more." But that was before free agency hit, and they seen what they were able to get a center, and they actually went and got they already had a guard. They went and got another guard, already got a left tackle. You already got a tight end. Now you're just trying to fill out the outsides. Me personally, the Raiders going to go get the receiver out of Oregon. I like that. And where they got him at and what he's going to be utilized for, I think will benefit him down the road. Is he a day one starter? Is he going to be somebody who's going to be lighting it up? No, I don't expect him to be. But what I do expect him is to get better and work himself into the starting role, hopefully. Because if you look at it, there's not a lot of guys that in this draft that was the wow guys, right? I think this was a draft for a lot of good supplemental pieces, like you said. But to your point, first, second, and third rounds, them guys supposed to be starters.
mm,
Beyond that, you're looking for guys that got a lot of potential that can move up and become starters. You'll find a diamond in the rough, like you said. Trey Lance, San Francisco moved up to get Trey Lance, but then Brock Purdy, who was Mr. Irrelevant, obviously comes in and takes the role. Trey Lance
mm,
looks like an outlier. The same thing I could say about Max Crosby. Max Crosby got drafted after Colin Farrell, right? Uh, uh, I think that for the most part, grades are just it is a lot of just your opinionated base, but I think it also matters to the point of what you think a team needs and who they get to fill that needs. Because we brought it up earlier about um what's the linebacker you were brought up? Oh, Miami's linebacker. When Miami drafted the linebacker, I'm not saying he's bad, but what do
mhm.
you need him for? Or you
Yeah,
and here's the thing is
look
when
at
I
my
knew
TV.
when I
When
when
I
I
see,
knew
mhm,
when I knew that the Raiders went and picked up the edge rusher, it really in my head I was like, why would they go get another edge rusher? I didn't know on the backside they was like, hey, look, we shipping Tyree the hell up out of here. He
mhm.
gone. We gonna get somebody else. Tyree's case of Sarah. We wanna get the Saints pick. It is what it is, big homie. That's
Mhm,
what it is. Because I kept thinking, like, man, they really add. I was like, man, they going to be doing a lot of rotation on that outside. But no, it was just like, hey, look, let's just get rid of him because we're not going to pay him. And we can basically have this guy on our roster for the next 2, 3 years that obviously could be a very beneficial player. So that's where I kind of think sometimes with the grades come in. I think just in that concept, if you agree with it or you don't, yeah, it's true. You definitely don't want to make the grades too early. I think just for the draft, and a lot of times we look at it to see when you kind of pull the landscape out and you see what who they drafted and what they already have. You kind of look at it and say, well, why'd you make that move? Because we talk about the whole situation with Jeremiah Love. The Cardinals got a B plus. I'm not really mad about it, but I know that they probably would have got a little bit higher, but maybe they wouldn't have because Jeremiah Love might be a lot of that B plus. He
Yeah,
is he's a
100%.
he's a transitional piece that if it pans out and they can really fill that team out, especially in that division, Jeremiah Love is gonna be somebody. And he's a player. I will say this about Jeremiah Love because I'm not saying he's not a good running back. I'm not saying the Cardinals didn't need to draft him, but they really didn't need to draft him right then. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So for the most part, I was really looking at it like Jeremiah Love's ability is something that you usually see with teams that aren't solidified right now.
Hmm.
We look at the point of where what's my running back? I'm trying to remember right now. Um, Bijan. When you looked
Yeah.
at Bijan when he went to Atlanta, Bijan went top 10. I believe he was top 10. They weren't that great when they went and got him. But right now, you look at some of the pieces that they added, they should be a lot better than they are in the NFC South. It's just right now they're in an influx at quarterback, and then coaching changes. Now you bring in Stefanski. We don't know, and really to tell the truth, they should have been a lot better than where they are. Bijan is a generational talent. Same
Yes,
thing
yes.
with Saquon Barkley, right? You look at somebody like Saquon, you look at the years that he's spent in with the Giants. Sometimes that's why I feel like teams could say, yeah, you didn't need to get that guy because he's not really beneficial to what you overall need at that time. But nobody expected to what was going to happen for them to happen. They at the time I believe they still had Odell. They had some pieces and everything just started
Daniel
slowly
Jones.
starting to drop. And then they went and got Daniel Jones, and then none of that worked out. So I think for the most part, if you look at it and you say, hey, look, nah, they did pretty good. Because let's be honest, I'm looking at the draft grades and shout out to Rob Rain of NFL, or I'm sorry, NFL Fox. He's the one that made this list, but I'm looking at the list and his lowest he gave the Dolphins a C minus. Eh, I'm not okay, maybe.
Yeah.
But what really shocked me was he gave the Steelers a C plus, and it made me really think. Well, damn, I didn't really pay attention to who the Steelers had, but he gave the Titans a B plus, which I tell you something about the Titans real quick. As far as like, I think the Titans had a really good draft for what they needed.
Agreed.
Um, the I don't think the jury is out on Cam Ward anymore. I think Cam Ward showed he can play in the NFL.
Agreed.
He just needs help, right? It's one of the reasons why I do like when teams sit their rookie QBs, even if you're having a bad season. That way you give them time to work into it, the offense. But that's usually I only like that when you're retaining the coach,
Hmm.
right? If you're retaining the coach, I don't mind him sitting out. You kind of threw him in there, and then that's what happens. And then you see now they're in there with Saleh. I don't know if Saleh is the long term. I'll tell you this. I don't know if Saleh is the long term coach for the Titans, but I do know that if they get an opportunity to kind of make a run in that AFC South, Cam Ward is going to be definitely putting in work with that wide receiving core. We haven't seen like what he was able to do last year, fighting through some of the game. I mean, he took a lot of hits last year. That's why I was like, the Titans got to make sure they put their best foot forward and they can build around that kid because defensively, I feel like they're going to be very good. I think they're going to be
Oh yeah.
fighting with the top defensive spot because that's one thing I found out about Saleh is he can coach up a defense. He can get some guys in there to do what they need to do to kind of kind of give Cam Ward a little bit of buffer. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
he shouldn't have to win every game with his arm, and it shouldn't always have to be on the offensive side to try to put up 30 points a game. Sometimes the defense got to be able to hold somebody at least under 21, right?
Mhm.
So I will say this though, they gave your boy the Panthers the B, gave him a B,
I'll,
and
I'll accept that.
I tell you this, I did like some of the picks. I know you weren't really happy about a couple of them. I know you,
Don't
like you said,
Jacob Rodriguez.
you
That's only on Jacob Rodriguez.
it was somebody else I think that you was talking about. I don't remember if I pull up my text message. I thought it was somebody else that you didn't like.
Oh, it was Lee Hunter. I was
Lee
mad about
Hunter.
Lee.
Okay, Lee Hunter. Yeah.
The Jacob Rodriguez pick, so I was mad because we missed out on Jacob Rodriguez.
Well, I mean, you could have traded up to get him.
Oh no, I wholeheartedly agree. Like
So you said you mad because they didn't.
I didn't. My thing was when looking at the draft order, you didn't expect the Dolphins to be the ones to take him. I thought we would move up with the Ravens when it got to the Ravens pick to jump in front of the Bucks in order to do that. That's what I was waiting for because I knew the Bucks needed a linebacker.
Gotcha.
So I was like, if we jump in front of the Bucks, we're fine.
Gotcha.
But then when the Dolphins took him, I was like, oh, this don't make sense to me. Now I'm confused.
You know, and this, even though I know they had a good draft, and I, like I said, you right, the grades don't really do it justice. Uh, the Rams, man, I didn't like that first pick. I didn't like Ty Simpson. I
I
think,
didn't,
I think, everybody was kind of like, oh man, McVay. I didn't like the Rams taking Ty Simpson. I think, and I heard Akeem Talib say something. I usually don't. Shout out to the Gridiron. I hadn't been watching it for a while, and I just listened in on the show post the draft. They were not happy with the Rams taking Ty Simpson because he's probably not going to play for the next 2 or 3 years. Fine.
mm-mm.
You could have went and got a guy that was going to be able to that you could plug
Help you
in right, year one, year two, and strike
because you
while the
barely
iron's hot.
lost. You
You
barely
barely
lost.
lost. Really tell the truth. Even getting what's
I
the wide receiver. Shit.
kind of lemon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What?
Put Makai Lemon in the slot. He could play outside too. You put him with Devontae Adams and Puka Nakua.
Bro, that would have been a monstrous thing for them to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
And that was the only thing when I seen the draft grade, I wasn't mad about the B, but I feel like they should have been like a B minus to a C plus because bro, they was sitting at the
13.
13th pick and you took Ty Simpson.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? Here's the thing. Here's the worst part about it. You could have went and still got a quarterback next year because
I think with the Rams, them being so good, I the logic behind it is if you're that good, you're always expected to be in the playoffs. You don't expect an opportunity to get one of them quarterbacks. So I do see their logic in them saying like, "Hey, let's take this guy now, sit him, teach him, show him how, pro style system and the speed of the NFL and all that. And then when Matthew Stafford retires and we can trot him out there. I just don't get taken him at 13 because I'm like, you could at least win down one or two picks, maybe.
yeah,
Because the Cardinals would have had to jump from 34 all the way up. And I didn't see them doing that. I do understand, like I always say, take your guys when your guys are there. But with doing that with Ty Simpson, you lost out on an ability to add additional talent to that offense to take it to the next level.
you're right. Agreed.
Especially with Makai Lemon sitting there. Like to me, Makai Lemon would a much better fit. And you could have went for a quarterback of the future next year, but it just depends on where you're at. I mean, you don't like your picks anyways, so you could have used some of your picks to move up. Remember, F them picks.
F them
That's what they
picks.
say all the time.
F them
So
picks.
you could have got rid of picks and been like, let's go up and get our
Yeah,
guys.
I really feel like, man, that you're right. I think that you could have did whatever. You actually could have picked up a nice little surplus if you even
Yeah.
traded back, right? at the end of the day, like you said, it goes back to the process of, look, man, we don't know if we're gonna get up here again. We're gonna take our quarterback of the future. Well, if he's not the quarterback of the future, you sitting at scraps. Now, mind you, they got Puka Nakua in the 5th round. So, hey,
True.
do they know what they doing? Probably. If they don't, I don't know. But like you said, sometimes they get saved, right? Because they just you think you just picking up a regular piece of coal, and it turns out to be a pure diamond, right? So, yo, man, that was one of our segments right there that we gonna do. Just talk about the draft grades. But to be honest, yeah, bro's right. It's very subjective about who you feel like is good or not. But hey, man, one thing I want to talk about, and maybe you can see this. I do. I will say this. Outside of anybody playing on the offensive line or defensive line, any day one starters that you could see right now kind of making an impact on from this draft this year? Any
Oh yeah.
day one guys?
CJ Allen, linebacker. Colts took him in the
Yes.
second or third round. They traded Zaire Franklin
Yep.
earlier during the offseason, and that left a major hole at the middle linebacker position or Mike linebacker position. And CJ Allen, there's nobody to compete with him to take that spot. No offense to the gentleman that's there now, but that's Allen's spot to lose. And the other rookie is one of my favorite ones, D'Angelo Pons.
You like Pon? Yeah, Pons.
He's starting at that third cornerback position. Um, I mean, like I said, he had the pro comparison to Aaron Glenn. Um, he's athletically gifted. Like he may be 5'9", but he play like he's 6'2", 6'3". He play with heart, and he has the physical tools to be able to play at least at the nickel position. So I think he comes in instantly with that having that position on that defense, and CJ Allen is going to come in automatically and start.
Hmm. Nice. Okay. Okay. I mean, you Pons is somebody I like. I think that he's definitely gonna step in. I'm gonna go running back, man. And even though I don't know, I think he's gonna be a nice little 1-2 punch. Um, I kind of don't know I don't know his first name, but Jay Price out of the Seahawks.
Jadarian Prince
Yes, yes. I
or
think,
Jadarian Price. Sorry,
yeah, I think it's Jadarian
yes,
Price.
Jadarian.
I think that he's gonna be a good piece to Charbonnet in that offense. I know that the defending Super Bowl champions, Seattle Seahawks, are definitely still gonna be running the ball like they did, even though without MVP Kenneth Walker still there. I
Mm.
feel like he's gonna definitely be a day one starter. Um, I kind of feel like Jeremiah Love was gonna be a day one starter. So, but I just think the way that offense is, it might take a little while before he gets going. Um, Somebody else I think could be beneficial, but he might start late. Is basically the first wide receiver took off the board. Cornell Tate. I think Cornell
Oh,
Tate is gonna be very efficient uh in Tennessee with Cam Ward. That's somebody that I was looking at that when I knew that that's where he was going, I kind of looked at Tennessee Titans. I said, "Yo, man, dude definitely is gonna get some opportunities." I'm not gonna say he's gonna start off hot, but I will say this: if he starts warming up towards the end of the season, look out for year two because him and Ward might figure it out, and then if they end up getting it, that's gonna be something else. And we and the DN, the edge that we already talked about him earlier about getting drafted was Cassius Howe. I think Cassius Howe could be plugged in with the Bengals. I think he's just got the size. He's got the speed. He's gonna be able to be somebody that. But then again, I don't know. I want to say that they're gonna be able to get everything right on the defensive side for the Bengals. I'm hoping that Howe does pan out because with him, Takario Davis, um, those guys right there, man, are two good cement pieces that you got for the next 3 years, 3+ years. So that's
agreed.
where that's where I kind of went at with them. Them outside of everybody else, yeah, probably could, but like I said, some offensive linemen. Not too mean. I mean, defensive linemen, yeah, but cornerbacks, I'm always more. There's a grace period I have with cornerbacks and wide receivers, but some of those guys, I'm like, this one could be one. So that was our segment, man, right there about who we think day one stars. But hey, man, we're not gonna keep you guys too long. But I will on this one. This is something here that we might have to clip up. Okay, we might have to clip this one up because this is where this is where it gets the meat and potatoes, guys. All right, and we gonna put bro on the hot seat with this one. I want you to tell me right now. I need one bold prediction from you and why that's your bold prediction.
Now, are we talking about team wise
Done.
or
Listen,
the
a
player
bold
selected in the
prediction.
draft?
You if whatever roll off the top of your head once is one bold prediction and why. It could be anything. It could be Super Bowl champion, playoff team, MVP candidate, defensive player of the year, coach of the year.
On the spot, on the spot. Don't hate me for this one,
What do you mean by that?
but I think the New Orleans Saints is going to be a 10-win team. I said it. I said it. I hate that I said it.
Match. I saw accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
But I said it.
Now I know you on league check. I know you on league check. We ain't on Panthers Pulse Nation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh my, if the blasphemy
I know, man.
in your
Yeah.
division.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Look, I'm speaking as Branch Huddle right now.
Wait a minute. Time out. You said 10-win team. So does that mean you think are they winning the South?
Probably.
What?
Let me out.
Probably.
Y'all heard it here first. League check. Branch Huddle just
Barring
said
any injury, if Jordan Tyson comes out and he stays healthy the whole year, the way that team operated when Tyler Schludd took over, they swept us. They beat the hell out of the Bucks. They beat the Falcons. That team makes me nervous, man. They do.
Hey man, they got Tyree Wilson now, so
Got
yep.
Tyree Wilson, Chris
Stop. I was
Olave,
actually
Oscar
joking.
Dell, still got Alvin Kamara. You still got a viable team. Like that's a formidable team, and man, they are coached well offensively. And like obviously, I think their weakness would be defense. That's the way we would be able to beat them. But that's a bold because I can't say bold prediction Panthers gonna win. You know what I'm saying? The NFC South because we already did that. I could say we win a playoff game, but we dang near almost did
Well,
that.
I didn't really think you would take anything with. I mean, if you probably said maybe Bryce Young could have an MVP candidate year, that's a bold prediction. I mean,
We got a difference on offense. We have the same offensive scheme, but offensive coordinator is calling the plays now, and I
yeah.
don't know how you're gonna do just yet. So I don't want to say that.
Oh man, listen, I was just throwing it out there, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be not. I will say this that man, you said the Saints gonna be a 10-win team. That is a bold prediction though, so I do like that. I like that. But in the division,
in the division, bro.
listen,
I hate to say it. I'm a realist.
That make my skin crawl.
match. I saw accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusations. And
I don't know if I'm that real. I don't know if I'm that real. You know what I'm saying? I can't. And listen, it just you even saying that make me feel like I ate dirt. I can't believe how you talking right now. Now spitting up. I know, man. You had to wash your mouth out. Listen, it's gonna be. You lucky ain't no Panthers fans on my channel because we gonna clip that up. Oh, that's getting clipped. That is getting clipped. I'm glad you put that bold take out there. Y'all heard it here, man. Branch Huddle believes. Now he not believes. His prediction is that.
Yes.
man, the Saints gonna. I will. You know what? And just to touch off of that, the Saints do got it. They do got some good pieces. They
Yes,
are a tough team.
I
They
hate
are
it.
a tough team. And but me personally, outside of um, and we don't really know how the Buccaneers are gonna be without the removal of Mike Evans, Rashad
Hmm.
White. You know, there's certain pieces that they still have, but there's certain pieces that are gone as well. We don't really know how they're gonna pan out, and that's something we're gonna see. The Saints definitely are a good team. They're a sneaky team. I'll say that. Um, I believe the Panthers, man, that wasn't just a coincidence.
Hmm.
Even the way that if you looked at the games last year, the only thing that I feel like the reason why the Panthers didn't outright just smash the division is because they were just inconsistent. That's all it
100%.
was. It was all it was. It was just if the once the consistency got there, you started seeing them playing at the level that they should. Being in the playoffs, getting that opportunity, that's just good learning for them. I think
Hmm.
that the sky's the limit for them moving up. So I see where you're going with that. Like I said, it's a bold prediction. It's just one of them things like, that's gonna be a tough team y'all gonna have to fight within the division with the Saints. So
Oh yeah.
Atlanta, I'm gonna be honest, I want Atlanta to see if Atlanta can really do what they need to do, but we'll see what Stefanski can get going down there. Um, just off the surface level, a lot of people ain't liking the Stefanski hire. A lot of people didn't like it. That's in Atlanta. I'll just say that. I don't
Crazy.
know how it's gonna fit for him there. It's not really. That's not really something that I thought that's where he should have went. But hey man, if they wanted him there. More riddance to him. Now, here's my bold prediction. You ready?
I don't think I am. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Okay. My bold prediction is Houston Texans are going to the Super Bowl next year.
That's actually not a bad one. That's
That's my bold
you know
prediction that the Houston Texans are going to the dance next year.
you know I
I'm
thought about
clocking it.
that. I
I'm
thought about that.
clocking it.
That
I
crossed my that literally crossed my
you
mind when I
know
thought about predictions. But I just, as weird as it sounds, I don't trust CJ Stroud no more, man.
I thought about that, right? And I really sat here and I was like, what's crazy is they got Woody Marks. The offensive line is good enough.
Hmm.
The defense we already know is top tiers, top five defense already.
And they got David Montgomery now
And they
too.
got Montgomery. That's what I was going to say. Them adding Montgomery is I feel like is what's going to get them to where they need to be. Last year, the
Hmm.
reason why they were inconsistent because they couldn't move the ball. That's the only reason why. Um,
Which is
I
on
will
CJ.
I will say a lot of that had to do with CJ Stroud. I think also
Hmm.
too it had a lot to do with style of play. When they had Joe Mixon, the offense moved a little differently. It wasn't super relying on CJ Stroud to do what he needed to do, stretching the
Hmm.
field. They were kind of able to let him take the little short stuff here and there. I think CJ Stroud, in order for them to win the Super Bowl, CJ Stroud's gonna have to play really good football. I ain't saying they're
Yep.
gonna win it, but I do feel like they could make it. I mean, last year, bro, they really could have got there, but like you said, CJ Stroud, it was just times when you're trying to keep pushing and they just could not get it done because the other coordinators, defense coordinators, were keying in and like, okay, we know how to stop you on the offensive side. And even though you
Hmm.
have a good dominant defense, you can't keep them out to keep stringing them out 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, and think your defense is always gonna keep holding somebody back. That's just not how it works, right?
Hmm.
So for me, I just feel like D'Amico Ryans and them should be able to get more out of CJ Stroud, but then also not want to be heavy reliant. That's the reason why we went and got somebody like David Montgomery. I feel like David Montgomery is going to have a decent year under this Texans offense. I don't know if he's going to be the bell cow, but he's definitely going to be the feature back, right? I
They're
believe he
gonna.
should. I believe he should get first crack at the touches over Marks.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Nick Chubb is going to be there. I think the Nick Chubb experiment ran its course. Listen, shout out
You
to
know.
Nick Chubb, one of the best to ever had done it. sustaining the injuries that he did. You just know how it goes over time, man. Your body starts to
Mhm.
fail you, and teams start looking at you as more of a just a somebody that's a plug and play piece here and there. Not gonna see him, even if he is with the team. I don't know if he's getting multiple carries. I don't even know if he's even still on the roster now because I thought he only signed a
Oh,
1 year deal. Yeah, I was gonna say I
nah.
thought he only signed a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
So with that, man, I just think that for them, that was my bold prediction. Um, I will say this is that you're right. CJ Stroud has to be efficient.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud's got to
You
be
gotta have that
efficient.
rookie. If he has that rookie year production that he had,
Well,
I
I think that's the problem though, is that we all got kind of caught up in the hoopla of what happened the first year and
yeah.
not really pay attention to like not really paying attention to like what he still had. Because mind you, I forgot the running back they had there before they
Joe
got
Mixon.
Mixon. Singletary
Yo,
was there. It was okay. And then they went and got they had somebody else. I can't remember who all it was, but they
like
had some.
Andre, or not Andre Miller, but
It wasn't Andre Miller. It was somebody else. I thought it wasn't.
my after Singletary or before Singletary.
Yeah,
Because
but
when I believe when Stroud came in, he had Joe Mixon at running back.
nah, it was somebody else. I thought Mixon. I thought it was somebody
It
there
was
before
Singletary
Mixon.
and Mixon is
Uh,
what the two running backs that he's had in his career. I want to say.
Hold on. I'm gonna look it up because I know it was Damian Pierce. I'm sorry.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I
Damian
forgot.
Pierce. It was Damian Pierce. That's who I could not remember who it was. He had an okay, but just never panned out to do anything else after that. So, because
Mhm.
I mean Rex Burkhead don't count. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I will say this, man. They had some good players that came in at the running back position and to facilitate for D'Amico Ryan and helping CJ Stroud. I
Mhm.
think going forward, they're going to have to lean heavy more on that defense and that running game. And hopefully CJ Stroud could show signs of like, look, I'm going to take it to the next level. Right?
Mhm.
Or not even necessarily take it to the next level, but just be more efficient on that side of the ball. Like you said, there's a bad problem when you go in there and you go three and out, three and out, three and out, or you go field goal, three and out, three and out, field goal, three and out, and then they start scoring touchdowns. Now look at you. Now you're trying to ask him to do something that he's really not even doing. For me, if he can just manage the game, use whatever short field he's given, and they can get touchdowns and not really keep relying on field goals and relying on
Mhm.
defenses to keep teams under 20 points, 18 points, 17 points, something like that. I think they'll be a-okay, man. That's the only thing I got for D'Amico Ryans and that team, man. Is
Mhm.
that if you guys can hone in that offensive side and just get, because here's the thing, if they could be a top, I'm gonna say they got to be a somewhere top 15 ish offense.
Mhm.
I believe that could get them to the Super Bowl because I know their defense will definitely be worldly in the top five. That defense is very united. They play well together, and they should be able to keep doing what they're doing even off last year success. So for me, yes, the Houston Texans, man. The Houston Texans is the ones. Clock it. Let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all think the Houston Texans gonna be it? I'm be honest by y'all. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. Bro saying them Saints still got me jacked up. I ain't gonna lie, it still got me jacked up. I
Got me fucked up
cannot
too.
believe he said that.
I
And
cannot not say.
I definitely gonna clip that up and I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna put that on. Because that's something that's noteworthy. Because if they hit 10 wins, y'all heard it first, man, from Branch Huddle. Give y'all that good info. But listen, man, we done took up enough of y'all time, man. We had a good time here, talked some good ball, talked about the draft, who we liked, who we didn't like, hot seats, what grades they got, what we didn't like, who was the guy that we thought was gonna be the starter that week 1, all of the good stuff, man. So listen, thank you guys for chiming in with us, checking out with us. Y'all know what it is. It's another league. It's another segment of League Check already in the books, man. Sorry, Uncle Daddy couldn't finish the show with us. Like I said, he had other things going on, but it's all good. He'll be back on the next episode of Raider Nation Central like he always is. So if you're already tuning in with us, man, don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead, give us a like, man. And also, man, tell us who you think your bold prediction is gonna be. Who you think gonna win the Super Bowl this year? Based off the draft, maybe, maybe not. If you just say, hey man, I think they gonna get it, I'm pretty sure uh all my Raiders fans know we on they picking Mendoza, they picking the Raiders to win the Super Bowl. I'm telling you, he ain't starting year one. We'll talk about that later on another show. All right. But listen, bro, thank you for coming on, joining the show, man.
Appreciate you for having me.
Check out, bro. He's dropping shorts all the time. Branch Huddle. Check that out. Yeah, I know if majority of people on here, if you already a Raiders fan or you just a football fan, check out Branch Huddle, man. He did a whole breakdown of the drafts. He's probably gonna do another one. Tell me anything else you got coming up, bro, before we get up out of here.
I mean, shoot, man, I'm working on my draft recap videos for Branch Huddle, man. That'll be out here probably by tomorrow. If you a Panthers fan and you somehow found your way to this video, man, Panther Pulse, I'm doing a draft recap on those and the undrafted free agents. Branch Huddle, my favorite undrafted free agents, and then I'm doing my favorite player fit scenarios for all the players who got drafted and the best fits and the worst fits. And so just go check that out, man. You know, Branch Huddle on YouTube, Branch Huddle on TikTok, Branch Huddle on X. Like, come check me out there. And if you're a Panthers fan, Panthers Post Network on YouTube and Panthers Post on X and Panthers Post on Twitter. Or, I'm sorry, on X
All right, man. Listen, we're
and
gonna have
TikTok.
all that down. We're gonna have the link all down in the description, man. So all you gotta do, go ahead, click on him, go ahead, check him out, give him a follow, give him some likes, get his algorithm pumping up, man. We trying to do that. But listen, man, shout out to Uncle Daddy SB for coming in, chopping it up with your boy. I'm your boy Raider Rob, man. If you're rocking with the content, man, like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to turn on that post notification bell. I drop videos every week, all right? So without further ado, man, y'all know what time it is. It's football time now, baby. It ain't nothing left but mini camp, training camps, and then preseason. So y'all gonna be hearing a lot from us, man. Football is getting cranked up. Yeah, we're gonna have a little break for a little minute when these motherfuckers go home, but then they coming back for training camp, and then we're gonna be doing it all over, man. All right. So without further ado, man, holler at you guys. See you when I see you. Take it easy.